What's going on, guys? Storm6678 here, and I'm going to bring you a quick tutorial. But before that, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Most of all, subscribe if you want more editing tutorials. I highly recommend subscribing because I'm going to have quite a few coming out. But today, what we're going over is syncing and flow. So syncing and flow is an essential thing, and it's a key element in when you're editing Fortnite or whatever. Um, so let's get into it. So I have a bunch of stuff here. I know I downloaded some scenes that I can edit. Let's see, we'll bring out this one, and then we'll just use, let's say, these three. Alright, something like that. So, we got our scenes. Now we need a song. Looking for a song. I don't like that song. Let's see. No. I know I have like some actually really good. Piece of Your Heart. Da, 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 da. I know that song. What we got here? Oh, yeah, this is a great song. Alright, so first you want a song where it has a nice kick and snare. Just double checking my mic is still working. I know my mic sounds like crap. Alright, a kick and a snare, so it'll give you that. Whoops. Alright, do you hear that? It goes boom, 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 boom. Alright, so that's the kick and the snare. But I'm gonna find Alright, dope. So get rid of that. Alright, now come down here. Alright, I'm gonna fade that into here. Alright, so this is. And then right here, you can see the peak. If you can't see the peak, you can expand this to make it a little bit bigger. So you're gonna press M on your keyboard and then enter to create a marker. So every time this audio spikes, do you hear that? That's a snare and that's a kick. So it's pretty consistent. After you listen to the song, you can kind of do it. So I'm gonna do a little bit right here. It's gonna. So we have our key markers to sync the song. Now it's okay if it's not accurate. I like it a little bit after if it doesn't go the what's it called, the frame before. But if you can kind of, if you can visualize the audio, it's easier to kind of sync up those markers. So gonna have my markers just clean them up a little bit, and that looks fine. All right, so we have all our four of our clips. Bring them down. Yes. Delete this. Now, one thing that a lot of people forget to do is disable resample, and that just makes your clips look like crap. So you're gonna right click, properties, disable resample. And you want to do that every single time you edit a video. Alright. Properties, disable resample. Properties, disable resample. Alright, so now let's get to the flow part. So in a little bit. I think it's 25% speed. So what I typically do is I hold control on my keyboard and I speed them up. They're either a little faster or normal speed, but that's fine. I like them to be a little bit faster. So I'm going to do that to every clip, especially this one. And then what I like to do is I like to start, and then it'll go into the first scene. Alright, so now that we have that, this is pretty quick, so I'll last it for 2 beats. Alright, so this is 2 beats right here, 2 kick and snare, 1 kick, 1 snare. It can either be 1, whoops, it can either be 1 or it can be 2. Alright, typically I do 1, but since we only using 3 clips right here, I'm gonna do, this song's a fast-paced song, I'll add more clips. Where are we at? Scenes, and then we'll just do these 3 as well. Alright. Alright, and then if this happens, press U and delete to separate the audio, and then delete it. Alright, right click, disable resample, right click, disable resample, right click, disable resample. Alright, super simple, make those quicker. Alright. Alright, so I'm gonna go every beat. You can go every other beat. It works. It still looks good. But I'm going to go every beat. And the other thing is where you want your clip to start is what's going to determine like where the flow of the clip is. So if you, 1 second, let me just get a little bit more organized here. So if you, actually I can bring that back down. Alright, so let me make this longer again. Alright, so I want when she goes to kick her foot. That's when I want it to start. Alright, so it's going to start there. Alright, so you want to choose the frame where you want it to start. Now, go a little bit further. When her hands are coming down, that's where I want it. Next frame. When the frame is cropping over her, that's when I want it to start. And then I'll just toss in these 3 other clips. Typically I like to do it in like chronological order, but for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to show you guys how to sync the clips and make them look good. Running, I'm going to have it when the camera begins to come up. And then, yeah, I'll start from the ground. And then typically on the last clip, I'll make it a little bit longer and then fade the second half out. Delete the audio, delete that, and then make that longer. And I like to have it like that for afterwards. Alright, cool. Now this is what we have. It's not bad, right? Oh, for me, it is. There's absolutely 0 velocity, 0, the syncing is there, but it's too sharp. It doesn't transition to everything. So now we're going to go over the velocity and the pan crop. Alright, so you're going to right click on your clip and you're going to click velocity. Okay, so now you have this green line and you're going to double click for points in the line. Alright, you're going to make 3 points because you already have your start point, and you're going to bring that up to about between 400 and 600, anything between there. And then you're going to do the same thing for the end one. I typically make the end one faster because it kind of speeds away. And then for these points, right click and set to 40, right click, set to 40, and then right click and make it a fast fade at the beginning so it curves down. Right click, slow fade at the end, so it goes like that. Now you see this little divot right here? That means that the clip is going to restart right there, and that means you went way too fast. So I gotta bring this down until it doesn't. So I'm gonna put that at like 600, and I might bring this one down a little bit more, and then it'll. Let me render that out so you can see it a little bit better. And then goes out. So I really like the look of that pan and crop. So at the end, I'm gonna do the velocity and then I'm gonna do the pan and crop for these. Same thing with this. Insert envelope, velocity. Then you're gonna double click, double click, double click. Set to like 560. Make this a little bit faster. 40 and 40. And then repeat that process. You can adjust when you can adjust how fast and how slow you want it. Honestly, play around with it. It's dependent on the song. But insert, remove envelope, velocity, boom, boom, boom. Now, a lot of people do not like Sony Vegas or using this type of syncing and flow. Um, and this is just what I'm most like, what I know the best. So this is what I use. But time remapping on After Effects is 100 times smoother in my opinion. I can use After Effects if I really wanted to, but I'm already so familiar with Sony Vegas. I'm just like, screw it. So I'm just going to finish this up and then I'll get back to you with the pan and crop. Alright, I'm back. I just finished everything. Let me show you, render this out and show you what I got. Not bad at all. I think it looks good. Transitions are still wicked sharp, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do pan crop. Now, this is where a lot of guys mess up. In Sony Vegas, it's not as smooth, but you can still make it look really good. So you're going to click this little square right here on the clip. All right. So I want to start, let's see, make this a little bit smaller. I want to start right around where this starts to curve up. That's where I'm going to put my first keyframe, all right? So for this clip, since I'm going out of this clip and into the next, all right, this next clip, let's see. All right, so I'm going to start where this, the slope begins, all right? So you're going to set a keyframe, okay? And then you're going to go all the way to the end, and I'm going to just zoom in, all right, for this first one. Now, you can zoom in all the way, or you can just zoom in regularly. I like to zoom in regularly, probably a little bit to the right because this is traveling to the right. Now, this is where it's a major, major, major key. You want to right-click the keyframe, click on slow for where it's normal, and then fast for where it zooms out. So it'll look something. Now, now we just need it to go out. Alright, so it's going to start here, or we want it to get out, zoom out all the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start in All right, around where we ended. Okay, probably zoomed in a little bit more, and you're gonna do fast, right click, slow, and then go to the end, and then we are going to zoom back in. All right, so for this next clip, kind of goes from the bottom left, so I'm gonna go to the bottom left. All right, I know it's hard to follow along, just be patient, because this is where it starts to get a little bit more flowy. All right, so you start here, get to the middle point, and you're zoomed all the way out, zoom all the way back in. All right, so it'll look something. Okay, we went to the bottom left corner. Now we want to go from the bottom left corner. Don't do, when you're making the frame restored, you're going to right click restore. You don't want to do it in the exact middle. You want to do it about 3/4 or a little bit more than 3/4 of the way through. That's so that it'll come out fast, slow, and then speed up super quick to go into the next shot. So since we went to the bottom left, we start at the bottom left, go here, and then I'm going to go to the top right because that's where the camera in the cinematic is traveling. And typically, for a general rule of thumb, you should always be traveling from left to right when you're doing these pan and crop, because what happens is people read left to right. So that's what catches their eye and is visually pleasing, is seeing the screen pumps or the pan crop go from the left to the right. Same thing, we're starting on the left bottom, around that 24 mark I like to do. Restore, come in. Now for this one, for this next clip, I'm going to change it a little bit just because of where it comes from. So this next clip, it goes straight in. So I'm going to come from the top right and come back to the left, which is fine. We'll see how it looks. Since we went to the top right, or no, we'll keep going in the same direction for the sake of this tutorial. Restore, zoom in, fast, slow, fast. And then same thing for these. Fast, slow, fast. Almost done. Now, since this is my last clip, it's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to have it right around there. I'm going to restore it. And then it's going to be fine, And then right around here is where, or the next like hump, I'm going to make a keyframe for that, and then I'm going to have it zoom in to end the little edit. Fast, slow, slow, fast. Alright, render that out. Let's see how it looks, boys. Now, it doesn't look like, personally, I don't think it looks that good. And the one reason that being is probably because it's zoomed in way too much. When you come in, zoom it out a little bit. I'm going to play around with this and make it a little bit better, and then I will be right back. Alright, I'm back. Let's see how that. It's just a little weird because the song's pretty quick, but that's basically the gist of how to sync. So I'm just gonna two more things that'll help real quick. For effects, just go to RSMB. It's a plugin. You don't need to do this, but I have some presets here that I like to just put on. Slap on some RSMB. It's not necessary, but you can do it. Another thing that isn't necessary is the pan and crop. All right, you do not need to do pan and crop. Um, if you want to, you can. For in some instances, it looks smoother, but in others, it kind of looks like way too much. Um, for the instances of this tutorial, I just showed you guys how to use it. No big deal. But make sure when you are editing anything, you always put RSMB. I'm gonna put a little bit of flicker. Alright, it finished pre-rendering. It didn't take too long. I think it looks Alright, well, once again, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check me out on Instagram at thestorm6678, and I will see you guys in the next one. Alright.